Okay, let's do this. So, let's start by saying, hey everybody, my name is Matthew Tyler DeLeo, better known as SonicMTD, and welcome to a episode of We Need to Talk, where basically I am losing my mind with every subsequent episode. As I try to figure out what the fuck is going on. I started off in real life, and I am progressively getting more animated. Look at these hands! I have hands now.
Next up, toe tracking. Let's go.
Toe tracking, tongue tracking.
It's only fun and games until I end up begrudgingly having to start selling feet pics on OnlyFans or Patreon. So I am joined...
Or Blue Twitch.
I am joined here, of course, by SweetCheeksTVR. To those that... John Archivist want me to do ball tracking. No. But can you possibly, to those that might be tuning in that
ads.
might not... Ads? What?
Yeah, it's ads. 1 minute, 14-second ad.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
God damn it, Sonic! You greedy little shit.
I don't have control over that. You know I don't have control over that.
I know you don't have control of it. It's a joke.
Well, either way...
It's okay. My community knows who I am. But for those watching the VOD, or if you put these up on YouTube, I am SweetCheeks. Channel name SweetCheeksTVR. I am a femboy programmer, streamer, variety streamer. I do a lot of shit, though I'm not as active as I wish I was. I'm sort of like going through
hiatus.
Not hiatus. I'm like, I'm kind of getting ready for a move in like a couple months, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's kind of in the back of my head right now. But yeah, yeah. I just kind of like I play games. I hang out with my community. We chill out. We have fun. And yeah. I probably should work on that intro more. Honestly, anytime someone raids me, I never really know what to say. So,
other than thank you for the raid and
other than thank you, why are you here? I don't deserve this.
But the one thing that I did want to casually pick up. So you are a variety like streamer. You play a lot of various different games, such as, for example, you're currently playing Death Stranding 2, which I cannot touch because I'm still playing the first game, so thank you for that. But I noticed on some of your live streams you mentioned that, you know, for those that are watching, they can see the lettering, the Fuck You Pay Me, which is a reference to Super Best Friends play. And so I was kind of curious as to A, their influence, but B, if you could sort of tell me how exactly you got into live streaming in the first place.
Oh, live streaming in the first place? I don't know if I can.
So I did Wrath. So let me help you. Let me help you out. Let me give you a softball. I'm aware of the other platform you streamed on. We will be referring to it as not safe for work streaming. That
is where I got my start. Yes. I started off on Tumblr back in ye old times. A million years ago. Long ago.
In a distant land.
In a distant land. In a galaxy far, far away. I was a little Tumblr boy. And I kind of just, I don't know, I can't remember exactly like when I first started. Like all of those streams are gone to history, completely lost media at this point.
Find it.
Not according to Wrath.
I'll find it.
Okay, well, Wrath wasn't there for that.
No, I wasn't, but I'll find it.
No, you won't. I can't even find it. But I don't even think I ever recorded those. So, but yeah, no, I started off on like I switched through a few different websites actually, because back when I really first started, there wasn't anything that I knew of that was like easy to stream on for that sort of stuff. Eventually, though, I really couldn't tell you. I actually no. My first streams, I can tell you what I first streamed. I can't tell you why I decided to do that, but I was, oh god, what was the name of the game? It was Natural Selection 2, I believe. That was what I first streamed. But it just started off as
that
like,
is an old ass game.
yeah, it is.
I've never heard of it.
Don't remind me.
It's
an asymmetrical, like,
first person and RTS type kind of game.
yeah, two players, one on each team, acts as like the RTS player, while you have Marines and then aliens versus as like the grunts, and they're all controlled by actual players. They all do like various tasks for the player controlling like each team, and it's fun. It was fun.
Oh god, I feel very old now. Oh my god.
I eventually kind of got bored of it. Because ADHD, I just can't stick with something for too long. But yeah.
I wouldn't know what ADHD is like at all.
You don't know?
No. I have. I was diagnosed when I was a wee young boy. I didn't have the hyperactivity, but I could not, for the life of me, stay focused when I was like in class unless it was something I absolutely loved doing.
I am the same way, especially like right now. Like I am not medicated right now, so I'm kind of having trouble with like planning things. But yeah, that was sort of like how I started. I ended up having to switch like websites that I would stream to occasionally, though, because like each one of them would either like go out of business, or I would literally get like one of them. I literally got an email saying, "Hey, listen, our website is mainly for like art and stuff, like drawing." It was like Picarto, but it wasn't Picarto. And I was like, "Hey, listen, we can't have you on our website anymore." I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Understandable." And eventually I found, hell, I don't even remember how exactly. Someone sent me a message like connecting me to somebody else who had their own streaming site. And I streamed to that for a while. Eventually, though, I asked the owner of that website if it would be okay for me to have like the source code for it to just self-host. Since I believe they were also like kind of turning their website off or whatever, and I did that for a while, until I believe, when was this? I can't actually remember when I stopped. I think it was when I moved. Yeah, no, it was around like late 2019, early 2020, where. Yeah, it was somewhere like mid 2019 when I switched to doing Twitch primarily. And then early 2020 was when I became Sweet Cheeks, as you see me now, with my mask and everything. I got I had basically just gotten a job at like late 2019. Used that to buy a VR headset. Used the money from like my first few paychecks to commission this 3D model that you see. This is an old 3D model,
but it worked quite well.
Yeah,
it still holds up.
And actually, the funny thing is, like before 2019, I did not have like any kind of mask or anything like that. I had like a character design and everything. The "Fuck You Pay Me" shirt predates that. Actually, that is from I can drop the link in the Discord for you, for you to do what you wish with that. But oh right, we're not in like a DM. Hold on. But it comes from an old Super Best Friends like bit that they did during a Twilight Princess playthrough, where it's just like Link Link being like, okay, I did this quest. I'm getting paid though, right? You guys gonna pay me? Hey, pay me. Fuck you, pay me.
Yeah.
Though I'm pretty sure, like, in retrospect, Wooly Madden, who was one of the people playing that LP, got that from Donald Glover, or his rap name.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah, Childish Gambino. Because I've gotten a few questions if it was like, oh, is that a Childish Gambino reference? And I'm like, huh. But yeah. After that was after like early 2020. I started doing VTubing, pretty much since like I didn't have like a webcam or anything on Twitch, so I needed some way to like talk with people.
So when you started live streaming, it was primarily like IRL.
Yes, I had what I called my booty cam instead of a face cam. And yeah, it's funny, the mask though, that was kind of like I was originally gonna be doing Beat Saber stuff. That's what the plan was. And then I found software that let me, like, I found out about like VR chat and like, what was it? Suva or something? Or I can't remember the name of it. It was basically like VR enabled. Yeah, stream your virtual avatar, Suva. I found out about that like either midway through like the commissioning process for my model, and it was like, oh, I don't have any like Visemes or anything like that for my avatar. Slap on, I messaged my artist. It's like, why don't you just for now slap on a little cat mask, since that's like that's peak femboy fashion. And it was just like the silent mouth, like me going, like that was it. That was the only texture that was provided. And later on, I decided, you know what, I want it to like show, I want there to be something there. It was because, sorry, I'm remembering this in real time. It was because I went to like an art stream of an artist who has since been canceled for being an asshole.
Yeah, that's a thin line apparently.
Yeah.
The line forms to the left.
She was an asshole, like
Okay.
like she was. But that was, which is why I'm not gonna be saying her name. But
that sounds fair.
it was like she was just doing like little sketches of characters like eating food or whatever, and I was like, oh, how am I gonna get fan art of like this version of me eating something? It was like, well, it's whatever, it's a drawing, just have like the mask be acting like a mouth, right? And then that's what gave me the idea. I was like, oh shit. And I open up a fucking art program and start making all of the different like PNGs and everything that you see now.
So
With South Park mode. Like
Yeah.
old, like this is for that mouth, this is for this mouth, this is for that mouth.
So I'm doing some very brief background research. So you started your Twitch channel January 20th, 2013, which
What?
yes.
Fuck.
Yes.
Please don't ever say that again. But oh god.
Oh god. But of course, you could start a channel, but don't really have
No,
anything on
it
there.
was 2019. It was definitely 20 or something. I don't know. I thought it was 2016 or something, man. What the?
What you might have started the channel and not really like used it,
Done anything
possibly.
with it?
Or did you just immediately like go hard crash? Fuck it. This is our Omaha Beach type of situation.
I don't know. I
data
must have
creation.
renamed it to something else because like my current name, I don't know. I must have renamed it at some point. Because that's a while. That's even before I started streaming, I think.
Like, I know I've been following you since just before COVID hit, or during COVID.
Yeah, that would have been early 2020.
So it's been a hot minute for me.
So
God, yeah, no, that would have just been like, if that's what it shows on like my channel or whatever, like how old my channel is, then that was just something I made like just so it wouldn't be connected to like my other shit, right?
Yeah, you could have probably just created the account. Probably
yeah,
had it
that
under
was
a
just me
completely
creating
different,
the account just because, and that was it.
and had it under a completely different name, and then say 3-ish years later, you start actually streaming on it.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, because, you know, you got your start doing streaming on all these other platforms before eventually joining Twitch. And the major question that I always have is, so why did it take you so long? Were the other forms of, like, doing live streams good, or was it primarily because you wanted to do the whole booty shot plus video game thing? Like,
I mean, that was like, I couldn't think of myself kind of I didn't really watch streams a lot. Also, I don't remember how popular Twitch was when I like started doing live streams. Like, I need you to understand what I was doing. As far as I knew, I was the only person doing it. I remember the like, there wasn't like OnlyFans, there wasn't Fansly. I remember the advent of Plexstorm. That was like one of the first websites specifically made for like, that was like a Twitch-like website, but for adult stuff. There was, of course, Chatterbait.
Yes.
But I think I remember like reading that their terms of service or something was like kind of weird around streaming other media such as games and stuff like that on their platform. So I wasn't sure about that.
I think Project Melody came in and took that TOS, ripped it in half, and said, "I'm doing my own thing."
Yeah. yeah. But it also
like...
was kind of like, it also was like a bunch of paperwork or whatever. Like, I would have had to, I don't know, it was a bunch of like stuff that I would have had to go through to go on there, and weirdly enough, it was just easier for me to use these other websites to stream through that. As far as I knew, though, I was the only person who was doing like game streams with like with an ass cam.
I do have to ask this. Like, I do have a small question.
Yeah.
I think it was when, I can't remember what the channel was called, but you'll know you'll know because Ninja left Twitch to go to them, and then like 3 months later, that site went down. I forgot what that streaming site was.
Oh my god, I don't remember that one. Was it a Google or a Microsoft? Like, I legit
Microsoft. It was Microsoft because they had an app on the Xbox console.
Oh.
And their biggest thing was like, we got Ninja. We paid Ninja like $10 million. Come over here.
I'm kind of remembering that, but like it came and went. So
like Ninja got on there. And then 3 or 4 months later, they shut down the entire service.
Yeah. No, I can't.
And Ninja came crawling back to Twitch.
I don't remember what that was called.
Fuck, I forgot what the name was. But whatever it was, did you happen to look at that particular site when it was still up?
No,
even if you don't know.
I was already like
wasn't
going
it
to
Kick
Twitch at that time.
No,
wasn't it Kick?
Was later.
Okay.
Kick was a whole lot later.
There was like Kick. There was Rumble. There was a few. Like it was the Wild West for streaming. Despite the fact that streaming doesn't really make a lot of money for places like, for example, Twitch. Amazon doesn't do that. They get their money through like web hosting services and of course the marketplace.
Yeah.
Oh, Mixer. It was Mixer.
Oh.
That was the one. Thank you, John.
There we go. Okay. Jesus.
Yeah. I was
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Archivist.
So
yeah, it was Mixer. I was like, holy shit.
So I also did some background research. I while we were sitting there, I'm like, when did I start my Twitch channel? And I'm like, I also started my Twitch channel in 2013. So don't worry, I feel old as well.
For me, before I had to get a new account, it was 2016, and I think I don't know what it was, but I think during that time, because I was literally a nobody, 2-week-old account, literal nobody, and I was playing Fallout 4, and the 3 streams that I had like 40 plus viewers.
Jesus. I think
I was like, what? What?
It's kind of like a gold rush, right? If there aren't a lot of people that are on the platform, you will immediately get a huge amount because, like, the market hasn't been completely oversaturated, and now there are a lot of VTubers. In fact, you know, I started out, I was an IRL streamer, and then I realized I'm like...
Excuse me for like 5 minutes, I'm grabbing water.
Yeah, I was an IRL streamer, and then I realized I'm like, yeah, but everything else in my background kind of is visually distracting. My webcam's bad. Also, there are days where it's just like, I'm having an ugly day. So doing VTubing just felt like the logical thing, because it's like, hey, my VTube model doesn't have a bad hair day. You know, if it does, then it's something that I made in post.
It's one of the best things about being a VTuber. I could literally just like not be wearing pants at any time, and it's like, yay. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I don't have to worry about like doing my hair or anything like that. I can just hop on and have fun.
Have you had any software issues when it comes to VTubing, or any sort of like hiccups? I know some people had like facial tracking, and then like it switched from their VTuber model to...
Oh, no. The stuff that I've used in the past has always involved... I mean, it started off with Suva. That one was a VR tracking thing. I had to have a tracker like strapped to my head for that. And then after that, I just made my own software.
Okay.
Using Unity, which is what you see right now. And that just uses iPhone face tracking, streaming the data, the face tracking data from my iPhone across my local network to the program, and it just brings everything there.
And is that what you're using right now?
Yes. Though it is old, I have not like updated it in a long time. And I'm thinking of just switching to I had it in my head a second ago. Warudo.
Okay.
Which honestly is everything that I was trying to... there was a period where I was trying to update this to allow for like graph-based like control over everything, instead of just me having to like hard code different behaviors. And I was never able to get the... I was able to get the back end, like all the like architecture behind the scenes working, but it was getting it hooked up to a UI that was like killing me. And I was never able to do that before. Let's see, there was another one that kind of did the same thing. Vinyan came out and like it beat me to the punch, and then Warudo came out and became like the status quo for that. So I was doing all sorts of shit like behind the scenes and trying my best, and it just never... I was never a UI programmer, so it just didn't come naturally to me, and I ended up spending an actual year just working on that, and it hit my streaming numbers pretty hard. Like I actually haven't recovered to like my view counts that I had before I started dropping off and hyper fixating on that.
Well, the major problem, once again, when it comes to live streaming, especially, is you pretty much have to treat it like a full-time job. Like, there's a lot of people that I know that are just like, oh yeah, I pretty much live stream every day, and I'm like, dude, how do you manage? Like, that's...
I find that I can't come up with ideas if I'm doing it every single day. Like, and even then, it's like, for me, like, because I don't have any income outside of this right now, which is part of the reason why I'm like planning on moving in a couple months. Like, all that's gonna change.
Good luck.
I'm going to have to get like a proper job to support myself. But like, if I'm streaming every day, I need to have something to do every day, and that's difficult to come up with, like, on the spot without help. So like, the easiest thing to do if you have enough games for it is to just keep playing games every day. But that's not exactly interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's not productive. You will lose interest yourself as you do it.
I'll get bored, or
Yeah.
I'll get
Burn
locked
out.
in, and this happens pretty frequently too. Like, I'll get locked into a game because I'm playing a game at that point. Like, I'll just sit there and start playing a game like I normally will, and it's like, that's not entertainment. That's just hanging out, and that might have worked like back in the starting days of streaming.
Got this dude playing Halo 3.
Yeah, like
Sort of.
in the days of like Justin TV or something like that.
Oh my god!
Or if you're doing a podcast, maybe that could work or something. I don't know, but that's like third monitor content almost, if we're gonna use like modern nomenclature for it. If you look at like who's popular these days, it's people doing collabs, people kind of letting themselves like do silly BS in a way that creates like fun moments and things like that. And it's like, I'm not hyperactive. Like, I'm ADHD, but I'm not hyperactive enough to do stuff like that, at least right now. Like, I feel like I have to change part of how I think or something.
So I
Or
got
how everything is organized or something like that. I just can't do it.
So I got a bit of a confession, and my confession is genuinely I myself as a person, and I realize how insane it's coming from me in the middle of a podcast. I genuinely dislike podcasts, and the reason why I genuinely
Did you
dislike
say?
yeah, well, so hear me out. I dislike podcasts primarily if they are just like people going through the motions. What makes this podcast not feel like work for me is because genuinely I get to meet new people, right?
Yeah, you're
like
just talking.
Yeah, I'm just
fine.
sitting down, getting to know you type of thing, and I'm like, this is an awesome way. This is the equivalent of like going on VR chat, except no one's using the N-word. And like the only other
Which all changes right now. No.
don't you fucking dare. I will control alt delete you from existence. No.
Oh God.
No, but yeah, it's either that or it has to be something that is teaching me something. There's this
Yeah.
one podcast that I'm a fan of because it's educational as well as entertaining. It's called Behind the Bastards. Have you ever heard of it?
I have not.
Okay, so Behind the Bastards is a podcast hosted by like people that used to work for Cracked back in the day. The names right now of the hosts, I know there's Sophie Lichterman and the main guy whose name just is not pulling in. But basically what they do is they do over an hour to 2 hours talking about the worst scumbags in all of history and the war crimes that they committed and the awful things that they did within their lifetime, whether or not they're alive or currently dead. And so this is everything from, like, say, SS members to, yeah, like, we're talking, like, scumbags all throughout the history. So those are the kind of ones that kind of make me sit there and go, you know what? I want to learn about, you know, the insanity involving Elon Musk and how he right now has got a body count under his belt.
Yeah.
Like little things like that. That's what gets me interested.
I mean, most billionaires probably do at this point.
Yeah.
Like, they have so much money and power that, like, it leads to people dying.
Just very briefly to just give me a second. Pocket sand, mofo.
Pocket sand.
No, occasionally we have people that kind of cross over. But so you've been active in coding for quite some time. Did you go to school for coding? Like how?
I went to school for game development, yes.
And you just went, like, how long was that program?
Haha, I don't like to think about it. I went to school for several years. I definitely went over the ideal time it would normally take to get a degree. I legit, like, I don't like thinking about it. I legit do not like thinking about it.
I am sorry about that. It's just...
I mean, like... I was figuring shit out. Like, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that, but it still is, like, a pain point. Just, like, thinking about, like, how much progress I've made, like, ever since I literally moved out of my mom's place, like, in 2020.
Congratulations.
After I got that job. After I got the job that got me the paycheck that bought me my VR headset and this avatar, I moved out, and, like, my growth as a person has, like, has gone off, like, exponentially since then. Like, I was kind of just doing what I was expecting to do, like, what I was expected to do. Like, before then, it was just go to school, do all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I learned a bunch of skills. And the thing that also hurts is I don't know if I would have been better off if I hadn't done that because of my ADHD, because, like, I still struggle with, like, the symptoms of that, and, like, dealing with that as an adult. I don't know if I would have been able to learn all the things about programming that I know now without the structure of, like, college. So it's hard for me to say. It's still, like, it still makes me wince thinking about how long it took for me to get through college. But it definitely wasn't, like, all bad.
So because misery loves company, and I am an empathetic bastard, I'll tell you a little bit about my backstory. So mine is almost identical in the sense of I was following the programming. You know, go to school, get good grades, graduate, get yourself a girl, you know, find yourself a job, and then maybe you can start a family type of situation. And I did go to school, get decent enough grades, I tried to go in for film, but I didn't get in because the wait list was way too high. And they're like, oh, well, we can put you into broadcast journalism, which is like television, radio, interview, stuff like that. And I'm like, well, it's not exactly film, but fuck it, let's ball. And I graduated from that, and then immediately afterwards, I just could not find any work whatsoever. And a lot of the places that were around where I'm from in Toronto basically looked at me and said, oh, we're willing to give you work, but it's not going to be paid. You know, you're going to do it for exposure, or you're going to do it in the hopes that... Yeah, I know, 100%.
You're going to be paid in experience.
And essentially...
Go get me coffee.
Yeah, pretty much. And just like that, I pretty much started losing everything. Like the girlfriend that I dated, she left me for someone who was more stable. I started downward spiraling, and I walked out with a rock and roll band. And I find that music is the only thing that grounds me, and it works brilliantly for my ADHD mind, because I'm up there and it gives me that structure of performing and learning the songs, but there's also the creativity of, hey, I'm just standing around here. People in the audience are going to get bored. How do I jump around? How do I entertain? How do I engage with them? So me having that ADHD mind actually is genuinely helping me put on way better live music performances. And, you know, I got myself a job that barely pays my rent right now, but so long as I have music, so long as I have my creative projects, such as this podcast, or live streaming, or doing stuff with my band, then I have a reason to stay on this earth. And it keeps the depression and intrusive thoughts out of my mind. So it's tough out there, but I want to let you know that you are not alone when it comes to this, and there are lots of times where, like, I'm genuinely, like, double guessing, triple guessing myself, going, did I really do everything right, or, you know, where am I heading, type of situation. So you're not the only one who's dealing with that, and I hope whatever you do, you find yourself in a better state that you were in this previous iteration of you.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
No worry. Go ahead.
I will say, like, having my job for a while there definitely helped with everything. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I definitely can tell that the mood has been dropped down a little bit. I'm sorry.
It's like I wouldn't have, like, 2020 ironically was like a great year for me to, like, make friends and all that. Like, they're friends that I wouldn't have made otherwise, like, if my life had gone down a different path. But just, like, after like losing my job and then moving out where I'm at right now, and just things kind of not going my way for a while, where it's like it's a low point. It's definitely like a valley. It's not a peak, it's a valley. But I'm hoping that, like, once I get myself in a more stable position, like, I can get back to doing, like, the interesting part of this, which honestly, like, most of the things that I want to do require money. I definitely, like, I need to get a proper job. Like, I want to get, like, new outfits, new designs and stuff like that. It's like I can't do that without, like, enough money.
Either enough money or a lot of donations or a sponsor.
Yeah.
Or learning how to do it yourself. But I'm just going to say right now, not everybody can do that.
That's hard to do.
That's very hard to do. Yeah. Like, like, my character model, I'm putting it on screen, is basic bitch as shit. I went into V-Roid, and I'm just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, V-Roid.
Got the most basic bottom boy model that you could possibly get.
Even that, like, I'm just like, all right, cool. I need t-shirt, I need suit jacket, and I don't know how to do hair. What the fuck am I doing? And I'm just like, all right, try to do a bit of a cowlick, but if I rotate, like, if I show the back of my skull, you can tell that part of the hair is uneven. And I'm just like, yeah, I really have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. But I don't want to drop, like, $1,000 on going up to an artist and saying hi.
Oh, that's, like, the minimum. Like, mine was $1,000, and I don't really have any bells and whistles, to be totally honest. I have, like, I got the physics hair and stuff like that, but, like, that's it.
Well, it's
like the most crazy part of your model that I think you still have it is the melons. It's literally just melons.
That was me literally just, like, getting a melon 3D model and putting a. I don't have that on this. That was gonna be a VR chat thing.
Dang it.
That to work. So that's another downside of, like, using my own program, is, like, I'm responsible for my own SDK and everything, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to, like, to update my model for this.
So I'm going to casually ask, because Wrath was sitting there going, so when you're on VR chat, prepare yourself. And I'm like, the fuck do you mean?
That was what he was...
That was he was referring to? Okay, giving you giant bazongas. Gotcha.
Yeah. If you had a Fugi tech enabled, you'd be able to see a facsimile of that. My Fugi tech is me flashing little, like, actual watermelons underneath my shirt every time I talk.
Which was... She's just funny.
Wrath, I am not surprised. I'm just going to casually say that right now.
It's got Dole stickers, which those are on, like, bananas.
Yeah.
It's got Dole stickers as, like, pasties.
God damn it, Wrath.
I was like, damn it! Because yesterday I was like, damn it, no!
I'm proud of that design, too.
And then you have, speaking of design, you do have a secondary design course, I know about it because I had someone draw.
You know about it because I showed it publicly. That was a thing. That's my fan art channel.
Yeah, your fan art channel.
I have not been able to get a new model reflecting that design. I got that commissioned before I moved out to where I am right now, and it was shortly after I had lost my job, so I still had a lot in savings. But yeah, I haven't been able to get that set up.
Currently working with a.
I want to, but that's not going to happen for a while.
I am currently in the process of going to be talking to a very pronounced and well-known femboy artist to have your character drawn with the new style.
I can't wait to see it.
May take a little bit, but it will happen.
That's fair. Everything takes time. I still have a few things I need to do.
And of course, the artist I am referring to is BD1.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Old Philadelphia cheesesteak dong himself.
PT1.
Trust me, if you're from Tumblr, you would have seen his art.
Yeah, I just might not remember their username.
They went by 2 different names, but trust me, you go on Twitter and look up his name, you'll find his art.
Yep.
BD1?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was the last person we interviewed for the podcast, actually. Part of me was looking at Wrath going like, what the hell is going on with our live stream? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, we started off...
Oh, them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen their art. We've all seen their art. No, but my major thing with, for example, I was looking at it going, okay, our very first live stream was with a YouTuber called Spooky Deer, and then we started interviewing Kuro, and then we did BD1, and I'm looking over at Wrath, and I'm just sitting there going like, our guests are getting progressively looter.
Gee, I wonder whose fault that is.
Sounds like a coincidence to me.
And I was just sitting there going, like, at this point, are we going to be interviewing people in the adult entertainment industry? Should I be concerned? Where are we going?
And I was like, so you know what you said about that last time? I do have someone that's kind of interested.
He legitimately found someone as a guest, and I'm like, I don't know what I can do here. I will. How do we get away with that without violating TOS? Because I'm like, my major thing is like, I'm willing to talk about anyone and everything because I'm just fascinated about people and the world that is outside. But when you're on a platform like YouTube or Twitch, you kind of have to stick to those rules. For example, rather than saying the previous websites you were part of, I say not safe for work streaming. And
or Orange Twitch.
Or Orange Twitch, which is what Wrath refers to it as. So it's trust me, I understand the chaos and the insanity behind having to censor ourselves and leave certain things out. Are you familiar with Stephanie Sterling by any chance? Used to be known as Jim Sterling on The Escapist.
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, is that who I think? Yes.
Their most recent video, I think it came out this Monday. They were talking about how the internet is now changing how we talk about certain subject matter because of YouTube's guidelines. Like it is
terms of service stuff.
Yeah, it is butchering our
unaliving
language.
things like that.
Specifically that.
Pouring, censoring a gun, black and white everything if blood is on the screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like all of that is currently butchering our language as we know about it, and it's not decided by the actual people who use and like the platform. It's decided by executives. Quite honestly, it is the opposite. We are using boomer lingo.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like in a way, our language is becoming a lot more Puritan, like very proper, prim and proper, like I guess conservative language, really.
Yeah.
In the way that we talk about sex and things like that.
Well, I've
and
noticed
adult entertainment.
I've noticed a switch dramatically.
Yeah, advertiser friendly. It's advertisers deciding it.
I've noticed a switch dramatically to the right in the world that we're living in. Like I'm in Toronto.
Oh, I don't even mean like the political ideology. I mean like conservative in the sense of like sexual conservative.
Yes.
It's not necessarily like political, like the rest of the political associations with the word conservative, but yeah. It's all just like, oh, don't talk about that. Oh, it's what I would expect. Yes, it's modern lingo, but like the energy of it still kind of reminds me of what you would expect, like a housewife in like a black and white show to talk about, like
Pleasant,
like
she's going to powder her nose or whatever, right?
Like it's hitting like that weird political correctness vibe.
Yeah.
When it comes to censorship, like
it's like, oh, that's
like you can't say the R word, you got to say special needs. You can't say that, you have to say the other word for it. That sort of thing. And I'm like,
I mean, I'm not saying the R word. That's not one I have a problem with.
Yeah. That's an easy one.
That's an easy one, but that's the best example that I could find.
So I say this as someone who uses YouTube. Like, I've been on YouTube since I think like 2009. It's either 2009 or 2010. And I've watched systematically as certain things, like, for example, just talking about LGBTQ rights and things like that, certain channels would be buried by the YouTube algorithm. And whereas, like, right-wing political figures, specifically, I want to say around like 2016, we're getting more elevated versus, more progressive voices. And this reflected in a swing not only just in the technology, but also a shift in the culture. It's there's a saying, control the media, control the minds. So if you control the platforms that run it, you basically could shape public opinion, and you could shape the world around you just because you own the market square where everyone is using, or the platform that everyone is using. Like, for example,
I'm not sure if that's entirely true. I feel like if we're talking about like swinging between conservative and progressive like ideologies and stuff like that, even if language is kind of policed in a way, via either through like censorship or through terms of service, like policies and stuff like that, people will find ways to talk about things that will still kind of fly under the radar or eke past rules and stuff like that. Like, I think that like, even though there are setbacks, like, things will still progress no matter what. Like, if we're talking about progressivism or like conservatism or whatever, not conservative, whatever.
Sorry, I turned this into a political debate.
Sorry. Like, given enough time, everything always kind of shifts like forward anyway. Yeah, there are setbacks, but they're always like temporary, is what I'm trying to say. That's kind of the idea that I've sort of internalized. It's like, yeah, this is a setback. It sucks shit. This too will pass, kind of thing.
If you don't mind me asking, since we're both in the gaming space, we're both variety gamers, and once again, our ADHD determines, do I want to keep playing this or do I want to do something else? What type of video games do you default to? And I'm not talking about when you're streaming. I'm talking about you yourself. You're not performing, just a controller in your hands. Like, what type of stuff do you like gravitating towards without worrying about, this would make a good video?
Sit down and let the world go by kind of game.
Well, usually it's the games that, like, since I don't have too much money right now to spend on just like anything, like the games that I buy for streams are also the games I kind of want to play for myself. And I've also I've found myself playing games for myself a lot less over the past several years, because it's like in my head it's like, oh, but I could play this for a stream. Which I've also at the same time as that kind of had to come to terms with, like, okay, just because it's a game that I could stream doesn't mean it's a game I should stream, because like, again, I might get logged into something and I might be like really interested in it, but if I'm just playing it like I normally will, I'm probably going to be quiet for a lot of that, and that's not great for a stream. So over the years, I feel like I play games less than I used to. Though I did sort of go on an emulating bend for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And I do plan on like streaming some of these games, but I did start playing like the Jak and Daxter trilogy.
Oh nice.
Because those were from my childhood. I love those. And I have been playing Death Stranding 2 during like off stream, because like I'm not gonna be doing every single thing in that game on stream.
Yeah.
I'm streaming it for the story.
So like you'll stream the story bits, and then
I'll
you're
go
not
and like
streaming,
level up the.
You'll do the side missions basically.
Yeah, I'll do side orders and stuff like that to like level up and
'Cause for me-
just kind of enjoy myself.
Because for me, I was like when I was like getting into the streaming space, I think most of the games I had on my catalog were, freaking open world. And
I do love open world games. Those always kind of I've always had a soft spot for those.
And like looking back, I realized that maybe I should not have that lineup, because if I had to like, obviously I was like, okay, I'm doing the story. I do like 3 missions for the story, and then like 6 hours later, I'm doing like the 20th fetch quest so I can get, more ammo in a particular weapon or something. And then I realized nobody wants to watch.
Yeah, I've had those moments too where it's like, again, it's like just because I can stream something doesn't mean it would make like a good entertaining stream. It's something I've had to come to terms with sometimes. I found myself, so the kind of content that I want to do now, and I know this is a tangent off of like going further away from your initial question, but like the sort of stuff that I want to do now is like kind of heavily dependent on collabs, but I'm bad at like organizing this.
Oh, if you want a good collab game, I can recommend you a good collab.
Oh, I know the collab games. It's getting people together and organizing stuff.
Me and Sonic can do it.
This is the hell that is involved with, like, if you play Dungeons and Dragons, you know this fucking hurdle. Yes, exactly.
Hey, who wants to? Hey, are you free this week or whatever? It's like, yeah, sure. And then like people don't respond in time.
I'll show up
or something. It's like, blah, blah, blah.
Like a game that me and Sonic, and get this is how we kind of formally first met each other. Is, well, one, we kind of went back and forth with each other on BD server a few times, and then one day I was like, you know what, I'm having a good feeling about this Sonic guy. I don't know what it is, but I'm clicking with him for some reason. So I was like, hey, I DM'd him. It's like, hey, and he's like, oh, hey, what's up? I was like, hey, you video games? Like, yeah. It's like, you got Xbox, console, PC. He was like, PC. I was like, there's this game that I want to play. It's multiplayer and it's co-op, but it has crossplay. Do you want to play? It's like, shh. He was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, what game is it? What game is it? And it's like, oh, it's called Abiotic Factor.
And I knew nothing about the game at all.
That's a game that I played like pretty much fully off. Yeah, fully off stream, and that I had fun with.
So I'm gonna add more context into the situation. So like Wrath and I were both on BD1's server, and primarily like I am a prolific shit poster. Like if I find memes that make me laugh, I will just immediately want to share them with everybody. And I was enjoying just getting everyone's reactions out of it. And when Wrath would sometimes chat, I'd be like, okay, how do I not necessarily set him off, but how do I do this performative way of just getting him to react? And then from that, it turned into, hey, do you want to like play video games together? And I'm like, oh, sure, because I'm not used. I'm one of those people who's just like I'm good at just being this character and knowing how my actions and words are affecting others, but actually letting my guard down and letting myself be vulnerable.
Taking the mask off.
Taking the mask off. Yeah, exactly. That's the most.
That's what the mask is for. I fucking hate that song and its title.
But yeah, to go from that to like, I don't know this person, but fuck it, let's because I'm also a single player story guy, right? Where I'm just like, all right, let's delve into multiplayer. Why the fuck not? And then the next thing you know, I'm sitting there going like, oh, I'm genuinely enjoying playing video games with other people. Okay, this is what it's like. To some degree, so when I play video games, it's kind of like a three-parter. So in a sense of I'm battling between my ADHD, which is telling me whether or not I'm actually enjoying the game. Then there is the part of me that's like, oh, I want to do something that's entertaining for the live stream for the viewers watching. And then the third part of me, because before Twitch, I'm a video games journalist. Not a prominent one. I did video game reviews for The Escapist and for Control-Alt-Delete. It's a webcomic way long ago.
I know.
But
I remember.
But I was doing video game reviews on the respective forum boards, and for me it's very difficult because like when I play a game, I'll analytically go, well, if I'm just doing the storyline, I'm not playing the entirety of the game. So if I'm going to make a video game review on this, I need to do as much as I possibly can, so that way it will go into the script writing process, so that way the B-roll will be used in the video review of it. And so, like, I can't really shut that part of my mind off, where it's like, even if I'm enjoying just a game standalone, in the back of my head, I'm always thinking, is this going to be a video review? Is this going to be something that you're going to dedicate months of your life to making sure, and maybe, like, I don't know, 50 people online might actually watch the video when it's up and done. So it's like, it's this difficult balance type of sitch. I am going to casually say, so you've had this VTuber model for quite a few years or so.
Yeah. I've had updates and stuff. I've added like a couple of outfits, one of which is like this, which I'm not going to show the whole thing. But,
yeah, obviously.
I do that on my channel. But yeah.
And do you have like hotkeys or whatever to do that?
Yeah, I have a few.
Okay.
I have like because like my face tracking isn't good enough for me to switch between these based off of like what expression I'm making, but I do have hotkeys, so. Forget what this one is. Oh yeah, this one's just like lidded eyes.
Yeah, I'm going.
I have one that just changes my mouth in general, so I can just have.
Yeah, I have different ones for my reactions, but I find that when I'm gaming, I lock in. So I don't have time to switch up the facial expressions.
Oh yeah, no, it's difficult to remind myself like, oh yeah, I have this and I should use it. Like being emotive is part of the whole thing.
The experience, yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I want to get like a new model made so I can have my mask like actually work off of like proper mouth tracking and stuff like that. But I still want it to look like it's just part of the mask itself, but it'll take a little bit of a bit of work with an artist to get that set up.
Are you thinking like 3D, 2D? Do you have any references that you already like have an idea for what you're going to do?
Oh yeah, no, I have a full like extra design for like a whole new outfit and everything like that. And if I do get a new model, then it's going to be based off of that. I even like made my own. It's fun. Like honestly, the mask has so much extra care put into it because it's become like I don't think I'm ever gonna have a design where I don't have the mask on anymore.
It's become part of your character.
It's literally become a part of you.
It adds to the character. It's part of the design now. And it's like I love the cartoon. I love like the cartoon logic for it too. It's just like, why is it like that? Whatever, because it can be.
Like I remember when I first when I follow a channel, I like try to like watch them a few times before I hit that follow button. When I first saw your channel, granted I'm on a phone, so I wasn't using like a desktop, so I had like a very small image to work with. Remember, this is like 2020 Twitch app, and if anyone remembers that, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like everything was like super small. You could not tell. There was none of this like preview stuff that you have on now. And I'm looking, I was like, is that a Nintendo Me off in the background? So obviously I was like, curiosity's peaking. I was like, look, so obviously I clicked and I'm like, oh, it's not a Me. Looks like a Me almost, but not really. So all right, follow button.
And that's how it all began.
The great ploppening.
Oh dear lord. I was in Wrath's defense, he managed to go over an hour without saying his trademark fucking catchphrase that he uses on every
Clap.
goddamn.
I've kind of switched over to a new catchphrase, awooga.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh, Rats! Like, oh, Carlos. Oh,
Who else but Quagmire?
Hands on, like hands balled up in fists, like on my like hips, like, oh, you.
Who else but Quagmire?
Right? Exactly.
See, now I've got the Magic School Bus theme song stuck in my head.
I don't remember the Magic School Bus theme, so points for me.
But you still know the Carlos.
I do.
Okay.
I've forgotten it though, so.
Carlos!
I'm trying to remember. So strap your bones right to the seat. Come on in and don't be shy. Just to make your day complete, you might get baked into a pie on the Magic School Bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nostalgia.
Lord.
God, remember that episode where the it's the one where they're like in the heart valve or whatever, but it looks like it's a sphincter, and so it's people made.
Oh, when they're doing a digestive system.
It's like that's a booty hole.
And you saw that episode and thought that's how I'm going to make my money.
Wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
Let's
hope that the winking is above the waist, Doc. Where was I going with this? Are you watching, or are you like, are there any live streams or any content that you're consuming right now that like helps you sort of like come up with ideas? Is there anything that you?
I will watch other streamers from time to time. Like I'll watch Waifu Baby. Waifu Baby is a friend of mine.
Oh yeah.
But I'll also watch other streamers sometimes, like Krelly, Neurosama, and Vettel. Chibidoki, Zentreya. Honestly, like Zentreya is kind of like, even though I don't really watch like her streams live, the dynamic.
Gone.
It's her Chibidoki, and like basically any streamer that just has these big friend groups that they just play games with and shit. Like I would love to be able to do that kind of shit. Just like make a career built off having fun with friends would be probably the best thing to me. Because like if I don't do it that way, then this is gonna feel real lonely and shit. Like I want it to, because sure I could lock into being a streamer, but like then I'm just not gonna have time to like spend with people.
Yeah.
And it's gonna suck.
Yep.
So yeah.
So like for me,
He's a molester. He's a child.
Someone actually.
That is a hell of a redeem name.
You redeemed that?
Someone did.
I didn't do it.
Peachy Witch.
That is.
Peachy Witch redeemed. Do I want to say that?
Yes, Tom
Oh,
Green,
God.
child molester.
Yeah, just Peachy Witch redeemed Tom Green, child molester.
Okay,
Is a hell of a redeem name.
So I'm going to just casually. First of all, congratulations, Peachy, because that's like the second highest amount of points that you can redeem is to get that one. So I use Blurp, which kind of is like a soundboard where as people watch and they engage, they essentially are getting points, and then over time they can like eventually cash in those points to have, you know, funny stuff. Like occasionally Wrath will, you know, have the chocolate screaming or titty sprinkles. The Tom Green one was one I personally made myself. And I ripped it off of Freddy Got Fingered. And I took the audio from him sitting in a room with, I think, his father and like the dean or whatever, and saying, "This, you don't want anything to do with my dad because he's a molester. He's a child molester," and grabbing a bust, like a statue bust, throwing it through the window and just screaming nonsensically. I'm like, that needs to be made right here, right now. It took me like an hour and some change, and I'm like, I wasted this time, but I wasted it effectively. And I'm like, it's going to eventually happen. Someone is going to redeem this. No one has redeemed it until now. It has been years. I have been waiting years. The prophecy has finally been foretold.
I have never seen Freddy Got Fingered.
So I'm going to say Freddy Got Fingered is... It's very hard for me to describe it. It's like someone walked up to Tom Green and said, "Okay, we dare you to make a Hollywood-style film." There is so much disdain and meta jokes to the point where like it went through multiple directors because Tom Green just kept improvising and riffing and throwing things on the fly. And like to the point where it's just like, you can't make a movie like this. There has to be an instigating incident. There has to be like cause and effect and shit like that. You can't just like randomly start throwing gags together. And Tom Green
you can.
Tom Green took that argument and almost made it word for word an argument that happens in the movie. And it's quite honestly like...
Maybe I should watch that. That just sounds like modern humor.
Pretty much, but it's absurdist humor. Because what he's essentially doing is like, he has a very loose thread of a plot. Like, his character is Gordy, who wants to, you know, make funny drawings and make cartoons and stuff, right? And so he goes up to an exec who's like, "Hey, there's some decent stuff in this. Yeah, go and make your cartoons." And then along the way, nonsensical bullshit happens. Tom Green basically becomes Tom Green, and it's just like, no, you have to like make something with this. And it's just Tom Green just finding weird skits and meta humor and shit like that. Like at one point, he just jerks off an elephant. And
what?
Yeah, he jerks off an elephant and sprays him and his father, played by Rip Torn, with the finishing touches of the elephant. And he's like, "I've learned something today, Dad," and he's saying it like manic, like a crazy person. And the entire
I've learned something today.
I've
Dad.
learned something today, Dad. You finally believed in me and my dreams and hopes and ambitions, and you know, and I'm sitting there looking at this going like, what the fuck is this movie? So It's not a movie that I would recommend unless you absolutely know for sure that it's going to be absurd, that it's going to try to just like throw any idea of plot out of a window. It's abstract art at its finest bit. Like at one point he fucks up with the color grading. Do you know what color grading is?
Yes.
Like, they deliberately fuck up with the color grading in a scene where it's just off blue. And I'm like, why did you do this?
As a joke.
As a joke.
As a joke.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So
Imagine imagine you're just like watching like an Avengers movie or something, and then just like for one whole scene, just everything is tinted blue for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's outside or whatever, and it's like there's nothing causing that. It's just you're blue now.
And and then after the movie, obviously people will like go on Reddit, go on Twitch, or
Like,
go on
why
YouTube.
was this blue?
Well, one, they'll ask why it's blue, but then the other half is like, but there's a metaphor behind it. It's something to do about the music
Sometimes
industry.
the curtains are just blue.
Or like,
Sometimes
it's
the
something
scene
about
is
the music
man.
industry.
Sometimes the scene is just blue.
And then that one rational dude's like, they messed up in post. All right, stop looking into it.
So, have you guys ever watched Monty Python's The Holy Grail?
I think I've watched most of it, but I can't. I feel like it's one of those things I've probably watched bits and pieces of it separately. I don't think
That's been me.
I don't think I've sat down and watched it all the way through, but
Okay.
I
I
honestly
fart in
couldn't
your general
remember.
direction. In your general direction.
I grew up watching Monty Python's The Holy Grail. I watched it on VHS, and I would like watch it multiple times throughout my life. And there's a couple times in the movie where they'll just have like meta humor that doesn't really make any sense. Like, you'll be watching it, and then it'll end the transition from one part in the film, and then all of a sudden there's a Spanish credit sequence while people are just in the background while there's music going on. All it is ay, 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 and they're repeating that over and over again, and I'm just sitting there looking at it going like, this movie is so fucking ridiculous, but I enjoy it. And I think one of the reasons why their creative decisions were all over the place was because they had no money. And they had to get like people like Led Zeppelin, the band Led Zeppelin, and George Harrison of the Beatles to help fund the movie. It might have been Pink Floyd instead of Led Zeppelin, but one of those two groups, we don't have money to make this film. Please give us anything that you got in order to finish. And the movie even just abruptly ends. Like, there's supposed to be this giant fight between King Arthur and his knights against a castle, and it's like, we don't have the money to finish this. How do we end the film? And so, spoiler alert for a movie that is old as dirt at this point. The movie ends with King Arthur's knights charging towards the castle, and then a police squad car showing up out of nowhere and arresting King Arthur and loading him in the back of a van.
I think I remember that scene.
Yeah. And then the movie just abruptly ends. They don't have like an end credit sequence. All they do is they have like the theme music, like the diddle diddle diddle.
Not your credits.
Yeah. So, I enjoy some pretty bizarro, absurdist humor stuff. But yeah, Freddy Got Fingered in the same style as
Same vein.
Yeah, same vein. I am.
What are we talking about?
We were talking about film. We were talking about absurdist humor. We were talking about. I don't know. I'm kind of just vibing out
Right now,
Yeah.
I'll redirect us.
Yeah, please.
Because I'll redirect us.
I don't know what
and I'll
we are.
redirect us with. I think we were still talking about streaming, and then
Yes,
and then the freaking Redeem hit, and then we just got completely sidetracked.
Yeah. I forget.
But
Where are we, and where is Sweet Cheeks' pants?
Oh, they're right here. Bah.
all right, so
All right.
I'm gonna move into a couple of questions, and these are probably I would say they're more on the
Fanboy
basic
side?
questions and fanboy side a little bit because I like
okay.
Sweet Cheeks for many reasons.
Who doesn't like Sweet Cheeks? Also, the VTuber's okay.
So throughout your many years of streaming on Twitch and of course other sites, but we're not going to mention those right now.
Yeah.
But during your experience on Twitch, has there been, and being a femboy, have you ever felt that people were just joining in for a particular sort of stream, like, oh, femboy, oh, sexy time, that sort of thing?
Yeah, yes. Very easy answer, yes. And like, there were times where I would lean into that and stuff. Sometimes, I'll admit, sometimes it feels like sometimes I feel. There are times where I just don't want to be like any of that, and I wish I just had like the funding to like do crazy bullshit, but like I just simply do not. It's like because like I want to do so many things. Like I told, like we went over this. I get bored of like playing the same kind of game over and over again. Like I sort of get that way with some streams too. Like. I want to do a lot of things. It's just I can't. It's hard to plan things out, and a lot of the things I want to do cost money.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what else do I do? Well, I do what I can. It's like Grandpa said in Boondocks.
Oh yeah. Boondocks is such a fucking great show.
What a great show.
Oh my god, I missed that show. I missed that guy.
Well, they were planning originally to cut another season of the Boondocks, but there were so many things that were going wrong outside. I think they were trying to not use the original creator, like, and it's just like
With the guy who made that shit,
the guy who made it
the
work?
best shit ever.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's just like you take fucking George Lucas out of Star Wars. You just don't do that. And look what happened. All right, but another question is, and this goes. I don't think Sonic asked me, but I'm pretty sure he wanted to ask me this question when I first suggested you, because when I suggested you to Sonic, I told him, like, well, I have a person in mind for our fourth guest on the show, the legendary honorary female SweetCheeksTVR. And I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure he's wondering why I used that particular title, because it was an ongoing joke, and sometimes I still bring it up every so often. Is that you were granted the title of honorary female by the Council of Onechans?
what is going on right now?
Sorry. Okay. So to explain this, it was.
It was. I know Opie Pantsu was there. I know.
Was it? Was it Opie? I thought it was like.
It was a group of like 3 or 4. I know Opie was one of them.
Oh,
and
was it that Slumber Party stream with Opie?
Slumber Party, yeah. With
okay. I forgot that part of it.
Ayumi-san.
For some reason, I remembered a stream with Waifu Baby and LXOX where Waifu didn't remember that she had done a collab with me before. And she was saying that she hadn't streamed with guys before, and I was like, "What? Hello, I'm here. Hello, we literally collabed before," and it took her like a while of like shouting in chat for her to remember that. I don't actually remember the too much from the Slumber Party stream though. I don't remember
Sweet
it
Cheeks
being...
transcended gender.
Yeah, I'm the third option, the third bathroom option, like in that one anime. With that, I can never remember the name of that one character where it's like boys, girls, and then there's this one guy who's just like very androgynous.
Are you a boy? Are you a girl? I'm a threat. Oh, okay.
I'm a threat. I love that. Yeah.
But what is in your pants? Power.
Power.
like with was it Zoolander. That's where I was going. Like with, I think it was the first Zoolander, where they were being introduced to this other model, and it was played by. Was it played by Michael Fassbender or Benedict Cumberbatch? No, it was Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, it was Benedict Cumberbatch.
Really?
And and it was a model that was like super androgynous, and their name was All. And they're like, "Are you a male model or a female model?" All is All.
I am All.
And like the guy like that was promoting this person was like, "Well, All just married her and himself." It's like that's the power. It's like that's power. It's like his character would like transition from like a very feminine voice and then and I guess to intimidate.
Hello.
And guess to intimidate the other was like say, "All can be all that you want."
So, if you don't mind me asking, because you basically have mentioned that you're technically on like just a little bit of a break while you get your housing situation sorted out.
Not a break, just like I'm just kind of
Still streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still streaming.
Streaming demon.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you were to ballpark it, like when do you think you would be sort of back in the swing of things? Like, or do you think you're going to slow down a little bit? Like, what would be a decent timeline for your fans?
Well, moving is definitely going to be difficult. I remember when I first moved out to where I am right now, it took me quite a while to get settled in.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be moving much closer to family this time, so I will have that to kind of fall back on and like ask for help and stuff with certain things. I don't know though. That's the thing. I'm still like, there's still like, even though I've been doing this for so many years, like there's still things I suck at.
Yeah.
Scheduling, getting like weekly schedules even set up. Delegating is something I suck at. I really have never done like delegation very well. I always feel bad asking other people for help, especially free help.
You feel like you're a bother sometimes?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a freeloader too. Like I feel like
I know that feel.
And I'm sure there's like I'm sure if I'm just like up and honest about it, like up front, like that'd be one thing. But like also, since I've been doing this for so long, like a lot of my like moderators and stuff, like a lot of my mods on both Twitch and like Discord were people that I just kind of pointed to and were like, "Hey, can you help with this? Like, because something happened or whatever, and I needed some extra help." And it feels wrong, the idea of like asking them to do even more when they never really properly like volunteered. I guess it just feels wrong to ask more of people like that. So I don't know. Sorry, I'm tangent.
Tangent.
But like I don't know when I'm gonna move. Okay, because like I'm not the one buying the place that I'm moving into. I'm gonna be moving with family. So once that happens, though, I'm going to be looking for a job and then getting that all set up. And I don't know what kind of job I'm gonna find. I don't know when I'm gonna move exactly. So it's hard to tell.
Yeah, trust me. I know out there it's kind of a bit of a nightmare, and especially that the job market
these days in this economy.
Yeah, and then like as well with your skill set, there is competition. Like once again, my background is in journalism and media. I have not found any paid work in my field, so I would have to take like a shitty job and then like do free commissions in the hope that it might lead to something. And then
I'm
like,
still at least like competing with people, like even if they're also like people using AI, like you're competing with almost wholesale AI shit, and it's like, fuck.
Waiting for that bubble to pop real soon.
God, I can't wait.
When it
it's gonna-
eventually crashes, like, it will cause damage to the economy, but at the same time, like, fuck.
In the short term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in the same time, fuck everyone for sitting there going, oh, this is the new way, and we don't have to hire humans, or we don't have to have these, like, traditional jobs anymore. And I'm like, dude, you are cutting out some very important people.
This is the housing market all over again. You are just given a new fresh coat of paint.
So we're gonna have like basic universal income now, right?
Yeah.
Because like we don't need people working now, right? Like it. Huh?
Yeah.
Like all these like billionaires talking about like, oh yeah, we'll have AI doing all the jobs, and it's like, well, so
Of
are we
course,
just gonna like, do away with
RAM
currency or some shit? Like what? You're not gonna have power. Whatever. Anyway.
So I'm going to use hyperbole here, primarily because I do not want to incite violence. But the moment Elon Musk reaches trillionaire status, some people need to pay him a visit. Some of those people might need a baseball bat armed with nails. And I hope that things sort itself out naturally. I say allegedly. I am not trying to incite violence. I do not want to get sued. I do not make that kind of money. I'm a YouTuber. I wait for my OnlyFans in the description down below. No,
I'm sorry. You cut off for about like 30 seconds. I didn't hear any of that.
yeah, exactly. We're perfectly fine.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
No, we were talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Love those movies.
Love those movies.
I don't know if you
Fantastic.
can tell.
So, I have learned that since, obviously AI, curse it a lot, is obviously driving up prices of RAM, graphics cards, and all that. And of course, everybody knows what a scalper is. We all know who they are, and they should. And again, I'm not wishing violence upon these people, but it would be very unfortunate if they fell into a pit.
So you're
of fire.
cutting out again. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah.
some good news on the RAM front.
Since Sora stopped, and then like Disney cut their deal with OpenAI.
$1
I
billion
think
deal.
Yeah, and then another thing where like I think they're not following through on like their promises to buy, or like they're being like flaky on it or something like that.
Well, so
like
I know a little
RAM
bit.
prices have ended up dropping a little bit.
The cracks are forming, gentlemen.
Yes.
So according to some of the sources, I'm quoting Yong Ya. He made a video about
Yes.
this. Yong Ya said in the video that it wasn't actually like a written agreement. It was just
Yeah,
like
it was like
it wasn't
a promise.
something. Yeah, it was. It
Pinky
wasn't
promise.
something that was legally binding. So it was just like, yeah, we're gonna use this much computer chips and expand to this much, and I'm like, all right, cool. So we've got no promissory note that you're actually going to do that. So this is just
which good.
yeah.
Like
Right, screw them over and make them regret it.
I say this as someone who is watching the market right now. The price of RAM is going down, which is good, but it is still nowhere near where it used to be. And I strongly recommend people that are going out and are seeing this as a time to buy, hold on to your undergarments, make use of what you got.
Diamond hands. Diamond hand it.
Wait for the market to further go down, because if you can cause that much damage to the point where it goes back to normalcy, then good. And then
Because
yeah,
like a known scalper from China who has been just grabbing RAM out of the yin yang, and this is how you scalp, ladies and gentlemen. And if I catch you scalping, you will be found.
oh, the audio is cutting out again. Go on.
Yes, but what people do is they'll buy the RAM at its current price and then try to sell it to either on eBay, Amazon, or some other website for either double, triple the value. All right. And of course, the first thing that pops in your mind is like, how are they getting all this money to buy all this RAM? Credit cards.
Yeah.
They will make a credit card account and they will max that son of a bitch out. All right. It's essentially like messing with the stock market, but with greater with greater consequences if you mess up. So, since the RAM prices are now actually starting to go down, some dude, and I do not know why, when people are like, I'm going to screw over people who actually absolutely need this, thinking, oh, hey, I'm going to be losing out on money now. You guys need to make the prices go back up so I can make my money back at least. I don't understand where that sympathy, where that sense of that sense of entitlement of sympathy is coming from, but you deserve to be in debt for the rest of your life for trying to pull that garbage off.
It's one of those things where it's like, screw everybody else so long as I get mine. But then if
I got mine, screw you guys.
Yeah. And so, like, you don't really care until it starts affecting you. And I don't know if that's
and then you're like,
human greed or human nature in general. But, you know, there's only so much you can do to change that. You just hope that people that need the RAM get it. You hope that people that are abusing it don't. I see you're moving around quite a bit. Are we boring you? No, I'm joking.
It's like with the scalpers with when the Series X and S came out. I was like, there should be like some sort of law for like
people were
scalping.
buying the Xbox Series X.
Yes. I had to wait a whole year. I had to wait a whole year and a half in order to get.
That's crazy. I felt like Microsoft couldn't pay people to buy those.
So
isn't Microsoft like scaling back its Xbox division? Like,
yes, they're neutering it completely.
Yeah.
So the major problem is that like.
Sorry, actually, wait. Which one is the newest? Is it the Series X or is it like? Xbox?
The Series S and X are the newest generation of consoles right now.
What was the one before? The Xbox One.
Xbox One.
Yeah.
Xbox One. The Series S, and then the Series X.
Why didn't they just make the Xbox 2? Why did they have to go like X and O?
It's it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because you had the Xbox One S, you had the Xbox One
and
X.
And then Sony kind of shooting themselves in the foot too.
Well, Sony is proceeding
they increased
to
their prices
that.
again.
Yeah.
It's the PlayStation 5 is now way more than when it originally debuted.
Which I get it, they're doing it because of like the prices of shit these days. But
I think it's a combination of the prices these days and the fact that they have no other competition in the console market space except for Nintendo. But the problem is that when you
that's a different market.
Yeah.
Nintendo's different. They're doing their own thing.
But the major thing once again, like Xbox originally built themselves up a lot of good reputation with 360, and then when the Xbox One was coming out, their former CEO, whose name is kind of slipping my mind, he basically said, oh yeah, we've got this new Xbox and it's always online. Okay, well, it's always online. What happens if you want to just play single-player games offline? Well, we do have another option, and it's called the Xbox 360. And
no. I know that. I know the exact quote.
Yeah.
All right. It was because before the Xbox One was going to be released, I think it was someone that was representing I guess military deployments and stuff like that. Because overseas, the guys overseas, they have Xbox 360s.
Your desktop is visible. On your stream.
What?
I'm disappearing, and your desktop is showing up.
I'm seeing you. I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking on my phone right now. You're still there.
Well, it was there for a second. It was blipping in and out.
Oh, probably because I had my internet as well. I was checking something.
Oh, okay.
But someone was asking, so what about our that are overseas? And obviously, internet is kind of a high scarce commodity over there. That's what his quote was. It's well, we do have a product for our service members, and it's called an Xbox 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what really, really, really messed him over because patriotism was still high at that point, and they're like, "Excuse me." Mm-hmm. So you just told people who are literally dying overseas, "Screw you! You're not getting the new stuff."
right?
I don't necessarily. I think you have a slightly different version of that, because like it was similar to what I was saying, right? But like this was actually documented. Who's the guy?
It might have been a different. It might have been a different interview.
Who's
might
the
have been a
guy who
different
hosts the Game Awards?
It was Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, Jeff Healy. He was having an interview with Jeff Healy, and he basically said, you know, it's online. Well, what happens if people want to play it and want it to be offline? And he said, well, we have another option, which is the Xbox 360. And Jeff Healy turned to him quick as a dime, and he says, so what you're saying is people that want to play offline and not constantly be online have to be on the Xbox 360. And on that exact moment, Xbox kind of started cratering and was never able to really fully recover as a result of that conference.
Because they were trying to push so many things at the exact same time, and not only that, got caught in a lie, because when they find, like, in the beginning they were like, oh yeah, we have always online, there's DRM, you can't play used games, so you're screwing over one of your major retailers, you know, GameStop at that time, who wants to sell your new product. You're basically saying, sell this, but fuck you if they try to return it.
Wrath, do you remember the Game Awards of that year, leading up to it?
I remember PlayStation absolutely destroying them after that announcement.
Let me fill you in. So the Game Awards, Xbox representatives come out, and their major thing isn't really talking about video games. They're talking about how the Xbox One is going to be a new entertainment system and focus heavily on the entertainment and television aspects of it. And as a result of that, they mentioned how it was constantly online, which led into that problem. And people were asking, you know, what happens if we want to trade physical games? And then they basically said,
I forgot about all this.
Yeah, sorry, I'm dredging up some stuff because games journalist background. But yeah, as a result of that, PlayStation saw what happened and said, oh, we are going to body them so fucking hard right now. And they were PlayStation 3 at the time. This wasn't PlayStation 4 and all of that. This was PlayStation 3 era. And they're like, how to trade games from your
PlayStation 4.
How to trade games from your PlayStation system to another person. And it quite honestly is, here you go, and shows a guy giving a guy a physical CD. And that commercial, which is barely 15 seconds long, bodied the entire conversation. Like, Sony walked out the winner.
I think they filmed it like in like one of those back offices, like super quick.
Yeah.
Because it was so quick.
God, that feels like forever ago. Oh man.
Like they said, like, yeah, there's going to be DRM, always online. The Kinect is always going to be on, because if it's not on, the Xbox won't work.
That was a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when we finally screamed loud enough at them for them to reverse course, they said, okay, fine. I know we said that it will not, like, the system was built ahead of time not to work offline. We lied. But it can work offline. We just didn't want to do the work.
It's one of those situations where, like, the moment they decided to not think of consumers first, it was like they were damned. Even if they backpedaled, it's like, oh, okay.
Well, they never
lied.
And they had, and because in their like their little press, I guess their little press piece, they literally had to admit that, yes, we fucking lied. Everything we said we couldn't do because it was technically impossible was possible. So, yeah.
So
the only way that any of this is going to work is if you do not have the internet to apply an update to this machine.
So Microsoft never cared about their gaming division. And I say all of that with the creation of the original Xbox was very hands-off, right? It's like, oh, we have our business division and we have our video games division, and, you know, just do whatever. We don't think it's going to be big. We're competing up against Nintendo and we're competing up against PlayStation. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but fuck it, it's a novelty. And the Xbox One knocked that out of the park to the point where it's like, hey, no one really gives a shit in Microsoft. Let's prove them wrong. And it was like a ragtag group of like creatives that were getting together and started creating some of the first video games and started creating, you know, the well-known stuff. such as the Halo franchise, Dead Rising, so on and so forth. And then it got so popular to the point where Microsoft is like, all right, cool, well, now our business interests are getting interested in it, and then proceeded to fucking run it into the ground. Because business interests in on themselves are, we must have continual profit. And
the American company screwed the pooch.
Yeah.
Because investors got interested.
Yeah. And
Whereas
so
the two Japanese companies are like the ones left.
I'm going to casually say rest in peace to Tango Gameworks, who were purchased by Microsoft and then immediately gutted after the thing. Luckily, they were bought by Krafton. I do not know how they are going to fare. I have fingers crossed with them, but Krafton is kind of an iffy game company. But anyway, besides the gaming news, I think we're reaching sort of an end point, so to speak. Let's wrap this up so that way, A, I can get up and stretch because my knees are throbbing, and B, so that way you can go and recover from this, because I know this is probably a bit much for you. So, if you don't mind me asking,
of talking.
I know, trust me.
I don't. I'm not much of a yapper usually. I usually, yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact that my knees hurt after like about 2 to 3 hours in the chair, I probably would keep going. I did a live stream of Resident Evil 4, the remaster, and that stream was like 12 hours long. So yeah,
I've done a couple of those.
So if you don't mind me asking, where do you possibly see yourself growing in the next little while? Like, not one of those bullshit, where do you see yourself in 5 years type of thing, but like small incremental steps. What are some things that you would like to do to sort of grow or branch off?
I would like to do more collabs with people. I would like, if I could find the time and the motivation to, I would like to do some more like edited content, like video editing stuff. I feel like what I need to focus on more going forward is like thinking about stream ideas from the perspective of like a video editor. And like, okay, how is this upcoming stream, what is this going to be for the purposes of like a YouTube video or something like that, and have those be interspersed like between smaller, less what's the word? Less directed streams, I guess. Like have maybe one, I don't know, maybe one like planned like content stream every couple weeks or something, or at whatever pace I can do that at first, like get some kind of pattern set up, and start posting things to YouTube.
Okay.
Like maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll start doing like some shorts and doing some light editing on those.
Short video content will probably do way more views than anything that's long format. And I say all of this as someone who, I spent months working on the season finale of my review show, which I dropped this Wednesday. And that has barely any views compared to the YouTube shorts that I do for my rock band. And like going from, oh, you'll be lucky if you crack 100 versus, yeah, within 24 hours, about 1,000 people saw this. And I'm like, what the fuck? So
yeah, personally, I have disabled shorts for the most part on my YouTube app, because of YouTube Revanced, which like lets you recompile YouTube into like an alternate version. But they're still fun to watch. I'll still watch them on streams and stuff, and they're fun. So I need to find out where I'm going to invest my time when it comes to like making content, right? I need to get more content brained.
Good lord.
But I think that's probably what I'm going to be focusing on alongside like just moving and becoming financially stable again.
Outside of being financially stable, is there anything that you personally are looking forward to as a person? Anything coming up, or like?
There's a few games that I just can't remember which ones they are. I don't know. Like a lot of my life has just been this. I'll certainly once after the move, like, because right now I live out in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's not really a whole lot to do around here. I'll be moving towards a much more populated area of the country soon.
Do you prefer more populated, or do you like?
Yeah, I like riding my bike to places. So
that's my.
I
sort of
miss
thing.
being able to do that. I used to live somewhere in Georgia that was actually relatively bike friendly. It was somewhere near the Silver Comet Trail, so like there was a bit of bike infrastructure nearby that I would actually literally use every day, or almost every day, and I love doing that. So if I can get part of that back, that would be really nice. And I'm sure I'll find other things to kind of fill the gaps in my life with after the move. But right now, I don't know.
Well, you got any more questions, Sonic?
Pretty much I've wrapped up, you know, where they possibly see their stream going, things that they're looking forward to, outside of biking and the little things about what it's like living in Georgia. I'm pretty much wrapping up near the end. Yeah, Georgia.
George.
That's my old stomping grounds. I used to live in Conyers.
I can't say where I live.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, you can't tell me. Obviously, you can't tell us where.
Yeah.
But it was a good like a 20-minute drive from Atlanta, and my preferred thing, because for me right now, if I want to go and do something like crazy or cool or experience something different, I have to drive like an hour. And
fuck that.
So here's
a lot of farmland where I'm at right now. So
here's a legit question: is the hype behind fried chicken in Georgia really that big? Because like, whenever I talk about Georgia, they're like, "Oh, you gotta have lemon pepper wings," and I'm like, "Motherfucker!"
Lemon pepper wings are. I haven't had those that much before.
For me, it's the chili dogs.
I can't remember
from
the last
varsity.
time I had it actually.
For me, it's the chili dogs from the varsity.
Oh, I remember going to the varsity.
Fucking A, man.
It's like
Did you know?
It's right down the street from the Big Chicken. Oh my god.
Hey, get this. All right, I went on vacation a couple months ago, and they used to have a varsity at the airport.
Oh yeah, there's multiple varsities. I forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I'm sorry, not the varsity. I'm thinking of that place that the diners, drive-ins, and dives that guy went to. There was a restaurant down the road from the Big Chicken in Marietta. Yeah.
Marietta. But
yeah,
they shut that place. They shut it down. They shut it down.
The Big Chicken?
No, the airport.
Oh, at the varsity at the airport. Okay.
At the airport. I'm so fucking pissed. Because what I would do is I would grab like maybe 4 of them, because my grandma lives in Florida, and of course when you fly Delta you automatically go to Atlanta.
Yes.
Always.
Every time.
And so I would grab I would grab a few chili dogs and bring it to my grandma, but I couldn't because it was closed. And you want to know what they replaced it with?
What?
A fucking McDonald's.
Fuck that.
But
you know what McDonald's is good for?
Oh, and they shut
Dunking
down the one
on?
over it.
It's good. It's good for cleaning your colon. It will make you have to use the bathroom.
So
at least that's what it does to me. Like almost every time I eat there these days.
The only thing that McDonald's is good for are the accessories, and what I mean by that is like, hey, if the fries, McFlurry, and maybe a specialty drink or whatever, but like burgers, no. You go to Wendy's,
hash brown,
or you go to Chick-fil-A is good. Even it's a guilty pleasure because but
enough said.
Yeah, but I liked their chicken. But like probably honestly only because I didn't have a Popeyes closer. Like
I have a
anywhere
Popeyes
I
and
lived,
sucks.
I don't think I had a Popeyes closer.
So
I kind of want one now. Damn.
Sorry,
We'll
our
have to wrap
bad.
this up fast because I want
All right.
food.
So my questions, these are going to be basically more of on the your funny more of your funny moments
Yeah.
during streaming and stuff like that. So, given your particular feminine nature on Twitch, has anyone ever joined into your server? Either your server or on your channel, and was immediately shocked that you were actually a male.
Well, since I'm like talking, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I had someone who was like, "Are you a guy?"
And not to be like super pissed at you, but like, oh, you're male. Okay, I didn't know that. Awesome.
I
Even better.
haven't. I feel like most people who would do that might actually just straight up click off.
Yeah.
Like if they were coming in because they wanted a girl, then they might have clicked off if like the moment they hear my voice. I don't know. I
Archivist.
can't
He's
remember the
a
last time that's
man.
happened though. I feel like it has. I just can't remember it specifically.
Okay, my other question is your particular wardrobe. Are you pushing more for the the stereotypical femboy programmer with programming socks? Was that your initial output when you designed your model?
Oh, yeah. The programming socks was always a thing. That was always part of it.
Like the stereotypical
Peak male
femboy. Peak male performance. With the intelligence
Plus
to boot.
2 to int,
Okay.
So are we good to go? Do you have any more questions, Wrath? Are we wrapping it
One
up?
last question.
One last
question. With let me find my words here. With the movie industry now switching over to more, I guess, YouTube created content for their movie ideas. The fact that Kane Pixel himself has not only in the past but is now currently creating his magnum opus of The Backrooms. That's going to be coming out. That is going to be coming out next month, and I am going to watch it. Are you excited to see that these I guess higher end corporations are finally starting to see like, hey, there is some merit to like individually created content to be, I guess, push mainstream? And are you going to go and see The Backrooms when it comes out?
I actually forgot that was going to be a thing until you told me. I actually had to be like prodded to go see Markiplier's movie. Just because like I'm not like a huge like horror movie fan.
I have yet to see that.
I guess like I'm happy to see more unique ideas. Like I know Hollywood's not like exactly like super diverse in the idea department. Like a lot of the times I'm just more interested in like new ideas in general. For me, it doesn't necessarily matter where it comes from. Like I know for a fact if that's the way that the movie industry is going to be going like in the future, there's gonna be stinkers. Like doesn't matter where it comes from. But
because our previous attempt, because I know their
Yeah.
previous attempt was the Slender Man movie, and that bombed really freaking hard. Don't know how you could do that.
I just hope that they have like some good movies that come out. That'd be nice.
Okay.
I'm not particularly partial on where they come from. I don't have any like YouTubers that I'm a fan of that are like making like movies right now. In fact I don't know fucking like I didn't really watch a whole lot of like Markiplier like growing up either. So like he's a cool guy. He's really nice. I admire him. He's a very sweet dude. I just never really watched him. So I wasn't like super excited or anything about Ireland leading up to it.
All right, so next stream idea, The Backrooms. reaction. There you go.
Okay. Wait, no, I've already watched that though. I've already watched,
watched
that stuff. Yeah.
All of
I've
them.
watched
by
the.
Kane-
I don't know if I've
all-
watched all of them, but
You should probably watch all of them by Kane Pixel.
I watched that one with the big. It was in the mall. The other project that he did that was in the mall thing.
Yeah, I know what you want. When
That's the one that
inspired.
inspired like my idea for like a horror game. But yeah. Yeah.
All right.
ladies
Well,
and
that's all
gentlemen,
my question.
We've now reached the time, so I'm going to A, end with a joke. B, then end seriously by saying today's live stream is brought to you in part by Good Dragon Adult Toys. That's right, Good Dragon toys. Toys meant to go from anthropomorphized dong into religious items used to wean you off the degenerate lifestyle, featuring new
We
items.
do both here.
Yeah. Featuring new items such as the Jonathan 8-inch Raptor dong, which then turns into a folding crucifix that allows you to rethink your life choices and then change into something that's a little bit more wholesome. Here at Good Dragon Toy.
all cum lube that goes through the tube comes out as holy cum lube.
Start with some holes and then lead to holy, because here at Good Dragon, we go from accepting Jesus into your holes to your heart. That's Good Dragon Adult Toys.
From horny to wholesome.
Horny to wholesome.
Oh,
That's how I roll.
One more thing. I almost forgot.
Oh, for fuck's
It
sake.
is sweet. It was Sweet Cheek's birthday a few days ago, so I think it's
no.
only
Right.
appropriate.
Right.
It's only
No.
appropriate. It's only
Happy
appropriate.
birthday
to you.
Man, look at the tie. You guys are cutting out.
Happy birthday
to you. Stay
Oh,
on
you
key.
both gotta
Happy
birthday, dear
Sweet
Sweet
Cheek.
Oh my god.
Happy birthday to you. All right. And now comes the lap dance. Anyway.
Oh no.
Sweet Cheeks, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us. Have yourself a wonderful day, and go get some good food. Hopefully we can do this
Yeah.
again sometime.
I'm gonna go get
We
some
love you.
Papa
We cherish you.
John's.
We love you. We cherish you.
All right.
And you matter. Never forget that.
Thanks.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matthew Tyler DeLeo, better known as SonicMTD. Arigato gozaimasu. Later, Daves. Have yourself a wonderful day. Take care, guys.
Bye.